I think they're ready for you guys.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
How are you guys?
We're good.
Hey,
Deja vu, February, just here.
You've been here
But this is what we have together. I think yesterday I just crashed yours. I don't think I was supposed to.
Oh,
You were
weren't-
supposed to
weren't
be
joking.
wherever you
No,
were.
I actually, they said it was my turn for my panel, and you were still on the stage, so I just came on.
Oh, I'll take a crash anytime from that grant.
Here you go.
Hi, lovely people.
Hello.
It's hot.
It's
Did you guys have a good weekend?
Let's get naked.
Did you have fun?
Let's get naked.
It's
That's
getting
right.
hot in here.
It is a little warm up here.
It is the lights, you know? Lights, camera, action. Is it the same on sets that the lights are so hot?
It used to be. And then they invented LEDs.
We're still old school then. We're
But it
still
used to
old
be,
school.
remember, well, yeah, the old like tungsten and, well, HMIs, they're so hot.
It's so hot.
All that, you know, the light, especially in Georgia because it's already so hot.
Yeah.
And it's like, we are so happy to be here in Rotterdam. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for being here. How are you guys feeling? It's the second day. How is everything? How's your energy levels?
Everyone's so mean today.
Yeah, we're
and
so
warm.
bad.
So mean.
No, it's
So
amazing.
rude.
It's amazing to be here, and we're just grateful to see everybody's so many smiles and
Everyone's
so much
so
great energy.
lovely. I mean,
Yeah,
this
it's
is just like such
grumpy,
a
grumpy
great
people
country.
everywhere, no?
Well, by the way, I mean this in all seriousness. Like, check this out. And we always stay like super positive about it, but like, life is tough out there.
Yeah.
And we don't always treat each other very well. But when you're here, and everyone's so happy, and treating each other with such kindness, remember that feeling. So that when you go out there, even when you're in a shitty mood, remember like, there is a way to be around people, just being kind, thoughtful, and take that out there and share it with others, because this is a big room of people. And so that good energy just spreads and spreads and spreads.
I don't mean to laugh, but I've actually
what the hell are you
never,
laughing
I'm
at?
sorry, I've never seen Ian be mean to one person in 16 years.
Yeah.
I've known, like, I just was laughing because I'm like, the world is mean out there. I'm like, but you wouldn't know. You're nice to
Well, I
everyone.
see it.
Okay, you see it.
I live
yeah.
with Paul.
Oh. That makes sense.
But no, you know what I mean? Like, there's something so special about like being around this energy and feeling that energy. It's really special.
Definitely, and we can all feel the love that you guys are giving us, and we just reflected back. So
Ditto.
what do we do? Ditto.
So obviously-
it's a loop.
Obviously, this is about you and questions you may have.
There is some questions there. I can see that. So
And so we want to just get to your questions.
let's do it.
So let him rip the question.
Go ahead. Don't be shy.
Hi,
Hello.
my name is Samara and I have a question. Which season did you enjoy filming the most and why?
I always say the first season and the last season. They both represented so much change and like what was going to happen next, and you know who I was going to become next, and learning about myself and trusting myself in both instances. Like the first episode and the last for me, first season, last season.
Trust yourself. Well, you started lying to yourself?
A little bit. Still working.
I would say, yeah, first season for me was just, it was when everything was so new and everything was so fresh.
Yeah.
And it was so dialed in. And I was just so
Yeah.
pure. And like every page, every time you get a script, every page would turn to be like, oh, and this, and this,
Yeah.
and this.
It had the Kevin Williamson vibe in it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, those first two seasons were really powerful. Although I got so mad that by season 3, I asked Julie if I could be killed off the show.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Why would
No,
you?
you didn't.
Well, because it went from being like badass Damon to like,
Good one.
Y'all get so much tea in these things. Y'all are getting so so much tea. That's about to be on the internet.
The whole rose thing, and I had to cry and all the shit, and I was like, what is going on?
You didn't want to be that.
No, but Kevin and Julie were like, dude, you can't be a one-trick pony. You can't just do the same thing. But yeah, I asked Peter Roth, I asked Julie, I asked Kevin, I think I asked Susan Roden, I asked everyone, like, I want out.
Wow,
And,
I didn't know
and
that.
Julie was like, no, you signed a 6-year contract, and you're like one of the stars of the show. Absolutely not. So I was like, okay. And then
Now we're here.
And now we're here. And freaking 12 years later, I'm still here. But yeah, it's so crazy. We were just looking at these photos. It's from all the, we just constantly
It's
sanitize.
because we're backstage, you know, arm wrestling. That's
Yeah.
what we do in between our meet and greets with you guys. We just are just back there, just kicking each other's butts. Just
Who's winning? I bet it's Kat.
She wins. I'm not much of a fighter.
Ian would let me win anyways.
I'm a lover. I'm a lover. No, but we were just looking at, I was looking at these photos. I was looking at photos that Paul and I that we shot during the pilot, like PR photos. And that was March of 2009. Guys, we are in March of 2025. That was 16 years ago.
Time flies.
Holy shish kebabs.
That was just a minute ago. Well,
So-
and we still love you guys.
Hey, we love you back. So thank you. Yeah, I would go season 1 when Damon was like a badass.
Thank you for your
So
question.
crying,
Thank you.
pining for Elena.
Next question, please.
Elena!
My name is Stella and I also have a question. My question is, did you ever take something from set where you have many memories from set?
Okay. Did you take
No,
it?
it was illegal. Yeah, I took some. I have my ring, the original ring. And there were some paintings I wanted. I did take a book or two. But you know, we got this memo. Remember getting the memo before we wrapped from Warner Brothers? Reminding cast and crew, everything on that set belonged
Warner
to
Brothers property.
Warner Brothers property. Like,
I had to give back the wigs, like.
like you cannot.
What are you guys gonna do with them?
If you wanted something, you needed to ask for it. And had to go
Yeah,
through
we
an
couldn't
approval.
just take stuff.
But yeah, I kept a couple little awesome things that were my favorite set, other than the Salvatore living room and the library, was Stefan's room. Stefan's bedroom was
That
so
was great.
cool. It's where all the action happened.
Oh yeah.
But I took a couple
Oh, and
things.
now.
I took a couple things from there. That was a special place. What did you
Abs,
keep?
what did you take? Absolutely nothing.
Very good answer.
You took the soap dispenser from Damon's bathroom.
I have an embarrassing story, but I'm not gonna.
Too late, you started.
Why would you ever
started
team
it.
it up? We need an embarrassing story.
Come on.
So when I first got the show, I was pretty young and pretty broke, but like broke. Not like, oh, I don't have any money, but like in the negative. Forever. And I couldn't afford toilet paper, so I went into the bathroom on the show and I took the toilet paper, and that's the only thing I've actually taken from the show. But then after a couple episodes, I stopped doing that.
That's a great story.
It's the truth.
Hey,
That's
it's
awesome.
commodity. So
All the
that's
hustlers
important.
and broke kids would know it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, oh hell yeah.
Sometimes
They didn't miss
Sometimes-
it.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta take the
you gotta do what you gotta do.
sometimes you gotta take the
I was like, oh, and the toilet paper's free?
the ketchup from the thing, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you do. And next
You guys
question,
both
please.
look like Elena.
Yes.
Okay. That wasn't an accident.
No.
Shit, it's hot.
We should match more.
Go ahead.
Dress like
My name is Senna, and my question is, what is one of your favorite memories together on set?
Ooh, together on set.
we had a lot of memories on set. I cannot believe, for the freaking life of me, that Bonnie and Damon did not have some complicated, protracted, like affair.
Well, that doesn't work with the systematic racism in Hollywood. it, so it wouldn't have worked.
Well, you were with Enzo.
But anyways,
Wait, you were with Enzo?
yeah, but he wasn't as popular as your character. It would have.
It made no sense, because if you think about it, it was the whole triangle. It was the best friend, and then Elena was dead or sleeping in the coffin, and then the best friend is with the boyfriend, and she wakes
No,
up.
okay, let's focus.
Anyway.
Let's not be bitter. Let's not be bitter.
We had. Oh no, I'm only sweet.
I know you are. You're actually
But
always.
we had so much fun in so many ways, but Bonnie and Damon hated each other. But Kat and I really loved each other. And we had the same acting coach, so we all worked on our shit together. So it was pretty funny. So we had a lot of like secret communication.
Yeah.
But then came the prison world.
Ian was actually the only person, and I don't know if you guys care about this, but Ian was the only person on set ever allowed to look at my notes, because they were so personal and private. He was the only person that had access
Yeah, you
to
looked at mine too.
Yeah, who had access to my script, who would know everything about my mom and my dad and like my family and who I was with at the time, like everything. I had no secrets with Ian. Everyone else, I was like, give me that, don't do that, don't do that, don't look at my notes. But Ian actually was the only person that I ever allowed that to. But I think my favorite moments were the things that honestly I really remember is the prison world stuff.
Yeah, that was the best.
Because it was just, we were isolated. But, I mean, the ensemble stuff was always fun, but I don't know, I just don't remember our stuff as much from that.
That stuff was fun. The prison world stuff was amazing. And then, so that was season 6, I think? Or was that season 8? No, season 6. And so, well, because Paul and I were producers on the show at that time, and we, you know, you go back and it was pretty wild, right? So you shoot these really long shoot days. And then I would go home at night and watch what's called dailies. So you watch all the footage from the day before. Oh. So you're always just looking for, see if something that you missed, or performance issues, or something that you're thinking about that I'm gonna wanna talk to to Julie about or something once you see the first cut. Which is, just remember, we have this footage, and we have this tape, and we have it. So
You directed some of the episodes,
Yeah.
I remember you.
But as an actor, you're very selfish about your character. But as a producer, you're very selfish about the project. So you're looking at, you get over like, oh, I don't like this for me. You look over what's best for the whole story. And so I would go back during the prison world stuff and watch the dailies. I'd get home, I'd like pour whiskey or a little glass of wine, and I'd sit and watch dailies. Or I'd listen to them in the car on the ride home. I couldn't drive. I mean, I was driving, so I wouldn't watch it. But I was watching that footage initially. I remember watching the first footage from the prison world stuff, and I was like, this shit is gonna work. People are gonna love this. Because it was just such a departure. And it was so fun. And by the way, every episode of that season was named after a song from 1994.
I think I knew that. But the fact that you remember these things, you like have a memory of an elephant. I don't remember half the stuff. You
Well, it's
remember
also
so
too
much.
like, you just remember, when you're in it that deep.
You're invested as a producer as well.
Yeah,
So
it was never, oh my God, the greatest lesson I learned in my career was make duplicates of your notes.
Make duplicates of your notes?
So when
What
I directed my first episode of that season, and you don't want to screw it up. You're also spending like $5 million of Warner Brothers money.
I couldn't do it.
And so I spent all that time compiling notes of every specific take, every bit of time code, down to the thousandth of a second, because it's every moment. It's a look of an eye, a movement, a whisper, like a sound on of a nail hitting like the desk, like all this nuance. And it was all written down. And my housekeeper accidentally threw it all away. No. And it just so happened.
That's why I don't have a maid. No, that's it. I don't have a maid.
But it was devastating. And
Sucks.
I went to go look for it. It just so happened that the trash had come that day. And so the episode, my cut and notes were due at like, 9 o'clock in the morning LA time. So like noon East Coast time. And I figured this out at about 4 in the morning after a long day of shooting. And I took a selfie of myself with a cup of coffee like this, like, and the note was like, never, ever write everything down on paper and not make duplicates. So I had to go in from 4 in the morning until noon and redo the entire episode. But I remembered it because I have a photographic memory.
That's perfect.
And I crushed probably like 10 shots of espresso and a bunch of B12, like cream and shit.
You have an incredible memory.
And I got it done, and then I just crashed for like.
But Ian used to have these really, 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 really long monologues. Does anyone know any like famous, you can remember any famous long Ian moments where he's just like talking and talking? That's pages sometimes of dialogue. I remember there'd be moments and I was like, how is he still talking? And you have to, and we couldn't change anything. They were very strict about us not changing a single word. So I love when people are like, did you make up anything? I'm like, wait, no, it doesn't. He had to have word for word for word for word. So every time you watch it, you can now remember Ian's great memory. Wow. You're like an elephant. It's wild. I don't have that. Well, I did not have that.
Thank you so much for your question.
Hey, thank you.
All right, next question, please.
Sally! Mustang sound or medieval silent.
My question is, if you could have a pour of bourbon with anyone, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Who would you drink bourbon with?
Who would you have a whiskey with?
I don't think he drinks, but
Probably Gandhi.
yes, actually, yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
I bet we could get Gandhi to have some Brothers Bond.
That would be actually amazing. We talked about like a Brothers Bond
We're
commercial.
just about to launch in India, so I bet he would have
Having a
little
Brothers
whiskey.
Bond drink with all the different famous people in
It's just
history.
a little distilled spirit. It's just yeast.
I would
grains,
totally.
water.
For me, it's Gandhi. I don't know how he guessed it. It's really crazy that he guessed that. Who would you? I wish I could guess.
Gandhi's one of those amazing. I would do that. I would probably love to have a sip of whiskey with a guy like Nelson Mandela. Talk to him about what real forgiveness is and what real perspective is. Guys like Abraham Lincoln.
Your dad?
Guys, he's still alive.
I know.
I've had a lot of drinks of whiskey with my dad. I've traveled the world with that fucker. And those guys, like the ones that really changed the planet, like the Gandhis of the world, the Nelson Mandelas, the Abraham Lincolns, the true forerunners of like great change in the world. And there's some from way, way, way back. It's so crazy. Like, there's this thing called the Thomas Jefferson Bible.
No worries.
And it's Thomas Jefferson, obviously one of the forefathers of America, right? He was never impressed by like all these miracles and shit. And it was like, what is all this stuff? So he ripped out all the miracles in the Bible and all the references to sin, like all the shit that is designed to kind of like make you adhere to, And he was just the teachings of this like super enlightened dude. But Thomas Jefferson always wanted to live and build like the agrarian utopia of the world, which would have been the United States. I mean, think about the 1700s, looking at that insane landmass.
I don't know why you don't have a podcast. I think we would all listen to it. Any votes for Ian having a podcast? Thank you.
I thought about
We're not
it.
just like, what? Thomas Jefferson?
No,
what?
I did a podcast deal, and we were just about to fire it in, and I was like,
No,
The world is too volatile. I don't want to.
Talk about all your humanitarian stuff, all your advocacy for the environment.
I'd rather do it on a big platform like You're So Sweet. I'd rather do it by like making common ground and using that as like the platform.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Why not
We got
both?
Reddit.
Why not both?
Well, because I think
We now know everything about lights and cameras and producing and Gandhi and Thomas Jefferson.
I know, it's a wide
in like a
topic.
20-minute panel.
But the idea is just that this guy wanted to build a utopia, agrarian utopia, where people lived off the land. And obviously there were a lot of big native populations in the United States. And it was indigenous genocide. But he wanted to figure out a way to everyone to live together and basically build out this. And obviously we lived in Hamilton's version, which is this giant industrial, empire. But my point is that throughout history, there were the people who really had the foresight to build a much better world. But they were typically stepped on or pushed aside by the ones that had the bigger, money-making, industrialized version of what to build that kind of power. And that's what sucks people in, But they still got to do it. Still did a lot. Abraham Lincoln changed the world by abolishing slavery. Nelson Mandela basically freed a nation, and guys like Gandhi freed unbelievable large populations of oppression and helped build into society a way of thinking about things that was much more forgiving and loving. So there are people out there that really did move the needle, and I would...
Maya Angelou, I want to say her, Maya Angelou.
Oh, I love Maya Angelou.
Yeah. So those would be the people that we would be having
She's
bourbons
had
with.
one of the greatest things ever, and it's why we all have such a great, awesome, unique experience together, which is, and I live by that. Maya Angelou said, "You'll never remember what someone said to you, but you will always remember how they made you feel."
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a
Yeah,
very
thank you,
good
Liz.
Thank you,
second
Sarah.
question. And I do have a challenge for you guys.
Tell me.
So you can see we have around 10 minutes.
Oh, shit.
And we have all
Let's
of
go.
those
Oh, yeah.
guys. Why don't we do a rapid fire?
Let's
you
do
have
it.
to reply to a question with one sentence.
Okay, let's go.
Can we do
We
that?
will talk.
And action.
And go. Come on.
What were
Sorry.
your guys' favorite sentence you said in the Vampire Diaries?
Your favorite line?
I'll remember, I won't.
Yeah.
Hello, brother. I know that probably wasn't my line, but
What is your favorite?
I don't have any. I don't remember anything. I'm not you. I don't remember.
Best Matos, go fuck yourself?
Not even.
I don't think I said that.
That's in the HBO version.
That's the HBO version. You guys haven't seen that.
Okay, guys, you're all already losing
Mine
the
was,
challenge.
the chipmunk line.
What is a chipmunk?
A squirrel, chipmunk, yeah. Dear Diary, today a chipmunk asked me my name. I told him it was Joe. That line will haunt me forever.
Thank you so much. All right, next question, please.
Thank
we
you,
can do
lovely.
it.
What's up, my friend? Tell me.
I'm Julia, and I wanted to ask you what animal would you be if you weren't a crow like Damon in the Vampire Diaries?
All right, what other animal would you be?
I'd be a werewolf. That'd be so fun.
Like a panther, cat.
Yeah, but also changing in. If you ever watch Michael Trevino to change into a wolf, it's so painful. His clothes ripped, he got all hairy and shit. But if I could run around like a wolf, that would be fun.
Do that for him.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You
Next
can lick
question.
your own
please.
butt. Yeah, it'd be fun. You don't have to
Next question,
You don't need
please.
toilet paper.
Next question.
What's your favorite chip on the Vampire Diaries?
Ooh, your favorite ship.
Oh, favorite
She said
shit.
chip. I'm like, girl, we had so many chips on this set.
Yeah, chips
We
on the
had
shoulder.
potato chips. We had nachos. That's not ship.
Cheetos.
My favorite ship. I really shipped Damon and Alaric, Damon and Bonnie. Those are great ships.
Enzo for me, I think. The Benzos.
Benzos.
Benzo was great.
And for you, what was the?
I kind of like Damon and Catherine.
Yeah, but she was so
I think
freaking
Klaus
mean.
and Caroline.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
that
would
was
be good.
cute.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next question,
Thank
please.
you.
It's rapid fires. Rapid.
Yeah, baby, tell me.
Hi, my name is Julia, and I had a question. What do you have most in common with your character, and what's the most difference?
What did you have the most in common with Bonnie?
Pretty loyal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give up like my friends easily, but I think the most difference is I don't sacrifice my own happiness or my own safety for other people. I think you give when your cup is full, you don't give when your cup is empty. So I think that fundamentally was different for me.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's kind of what I would say. I love. No, it's true. Fiercely loyal. Damon was so loyal.
You're very loyal.
And like loyal to, he's like fiercely loyal, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
I'm not a murderous, misogynistic lunatic like he was an asshole first shizzle.
Yeah.
Selfish, really didn't make great decisions even though he was 160. That's, I think, one of the things I would not be like him. You learn from your mistakes, but he made the same mistake over and over.
And you guys kind of had a good boot collection. I think I heard you would go home with a couple of them boots.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Boot collection.
Yeah, you got a good boot. Okay. All right,
Thank you so much. Next
Thank
question,
you.
please. We're doing great. We're doing
Thank
great.
you.
Hey, my name is Manga, and my question is, what was the saddest moment in the Vampire Diaries for you?
Saddest moment.
Oh wow. Gee, thanks, kid. It's a real happy moment. What was the saddest moment?
So many. The acting stuff, there was always a moment where my character was going through something. So I guess Enzo dying or grandmother dying, I think those were the big ones because those were, I remember the deaths in my own life, but I would say my saddest moment as a person, not as an actor, was my last scene on the bed with Nina and Candace. I was a wreck, so I just remember that it just felt like everything was changing, and that was a big sad moment for me. You?
Sheriff Forbes dying was really sad. That was because they were such tight characters, and she's such an amazing just woman. She was so awesome. Shit, I don't even know. But Sheriff Forbes is really tough. I also hated killing Lexi.
You killed Lexi.
That's, you have to remember, yeah. Oh my God, all of my friends' kids at the time. Because all my buddies had teenage girls at the time, and they were calling me, screaming at me. That's when Lost is still on it.
I really need to watch the show, y'all.
My dear brother Matt Fox, his daughter Kyle is like my niece, who literally since she was like 8. She's like my girl. Oh my God, Foxy called me. He's like, hey man, I don't know what happened or what's going on, but Kyle's crying and she's pissed. Can you just talk to her for a second? I was like, yeah, of course. And she was like, I can't. I mean, she was mad, and it wasn't the first call I got. I was like, oh shit. All my buddies' little daughters wanted to kill me. I was like, shit. That's when I realized, like, this show is really affecting people. I was taking some heat for that shit.
Well, thank you so much for your question.
Thanks, kiddo. You
Next
rock,
question,
man.
please. We have some time.
What's going on?
Hello.
Hello.
What character would you want to be if you couldn't be Damon or Bonnie?
I get this question all the time. I just want to be Damon. I don't think I'd want to be another character.
You want to be Bonnie?
I could be Bonnie.
Switch for a day.
As Mas-
He would act a fool as Bonnie.
Matos kiss my butt.
You would be messing the whole thing up. No, I don't think we could ever imagine. Maybe it's because we did it for so many
Can you
years,
imagine
almost
another
10
Bonnie?
years. No, you all say no, no. I want to see some no's. I want to see some finger waves. I want to see some no's. There we go. Yeah, that's my girls.
All right, well, thank you so much, guys. Next question, please.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
We love you so much.
We love you
We
guys.
so much.
Go ahead.
Hi guys, my name is Megan, and I want to ask you, Ian, you've directed some episodes like The Downward Spiral and We Have History Together. If you could have directed any other episode of The Vampire Diaries, which one would it be and why?
Ooh.
I would have preferred to directed most of them.
I agree with that. It's different when you know the characters so well, and there will be so many moments and won't say any names.
I mean, we had
'cause-
great moments. You
We had
didn't
great-
even have to talk. We were just like,
Yeah,
hey,
just-
Kat, what about this? She's like, oh yeah, okay, good. Let
There
me-
were a lot of moments I had to go to Ian because I was getting direction from a director, a random director that they had, brought in or whatever, and I'm like, I'd go to him just to fix what I was just told, right? So he should have directed me.
I would have loved that.
He should have.
Although that would have been really hard.
It was really hard on you.
But it was really amazing. I would have preferred to have directed a lot of them. It's so much easier for us. And also too, everybody there wants you to win. No one wants you to fail. And so it was more like family. You just like this. Paul was directing, be like, yo, dude, what about that? Like, I got it. Roll. So we would just like, just roll through scenes because it was just like us.
Knew each other as
It was
well.
us acting. We just had control of the camera and shit. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your
Thank you
question.
so much.
Thank you.
Guys, we can squeeze in 3 more
No, let's
questions.
go. We'll go fast.
Let's go.
What's up, Spider Woman?
Hello, love you guys. I have 2 quick questions.
Go ahead.
First is for Kat.
Go.
Your favorite rom-com you've done recently?
Maybe Love in the Villa because I just love pasta.
Love it. Okay.
Did a rom-com about pasta?
No.
Go ahead. It's called Love in the Villa, but there's pasta in it.
Ian, I just watched your SVU episode this morning, so I wanted to ask you, how was that?
Wait, what is it?
Which episode? SVU episode. It's like from 2003.
Oh my God, Law and Order?
Yes.
From like 2002 or something? 2003?
Yeah, exactly. So how was that
Holy
experience
shit.
like?
That was wild. That was in between Rules of Attraction and Lost. It was before I got Lost.
You look like a baby, so.
Baby, I was a kid. I remember being in New York shooting that. It's so funny, like, every young actor, did you ever do Law and Order?
I did a CS.
CSI.
I did a
So it's either
CSI.
CSI or Law. So it was either Jerry Bruckheimer or Dick Wolf. Every freaking actor.
Everyone.
Everybody does that.
And it was a true story. There's a real cases. Jason Ritter played my brother, and Frank Langella, like the famous Frank Langella, played my dad. And I played this like twisted rapist dude who like beat his brother and raped his
How
brother
do you get
and beat
these
his dad.
villain roles? You're so not that
No,
guy.
dude, it
Maybe
was a
this is
trip.
the inspiration for Damon.
Oh, dude, this kid was evil with a capital E. It was trippy. Yeah, he like stuffed some girls in like a water tower.
Stop.
That was crazy shit.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
that was
much.
dark shit. So let's keep going. Hi. Hey, thanks for the question. What's up, man? You.
Yeah, that's you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
What is your favorite food?
Everyone.
That's an easy question. You can do it, guys.
Mac and cheese for me.
I love it. Ian, you can do it.
Jeez. Honestly, my favorite food is just chocolate.
Perfect. Great. Next question,
Giant
please.
gobs of chocolate.
They're gonna get a bunch of it.
Hey, thanks, kiddo. You're brave. I love it. What's up, man?
Good morning. I have a question for you. In the years you have filmed Vampire Diaries, was there something you would like to change? If you look back.
Yeah.
One little thing. Just one little thing.
I would have traveled more. I would have gone out of the country, shown the boys in Italy back in the homeland, or done stuff like that, gone back in history more. But we had more standing sets than any TV show like in history. We had $25 million worth of sets. So they were like, nope, we got plenty here, you're not traveling.
I think you guys wrote, well, back in the day there used to be a lot of fan fiction. If you know what fan fiction is, raise your hand. Okay, yeah, so I read some great fan fiction, even though you would think that after shooting 16 hours a day, the last thing I would do would be read fan fiction. I was like, oh, and then they did this, and then they did that. I was so invested. So I would have let a couple episodes have been written by you guys, actually. So that's honestly what I would change.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Great hat. Oh yeah, a little fan fiction. By the way, you know, that's where freaking, what's the big movie with Dakota Johnson and my boy Jamie, the one with he's like whipping her.
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey was Twilight fan fiction.
No.
Yes.
I need a podcast.
We have so much
That was a
knowledge.
big franchise.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they killed
Thank
that.
you so much.
Hey, thanks, man.
let's try a few
Let's do
more
one
questions.
more. Let's do it. I'll do it fast.
One more, we'll be fine.
Guys, thank you for being here. We
thank
love you
you.
so much. We hope you are happy and had fun and we're not just wasting your time.
No, absolutely not.
What's going on? Tell me.
Let's squeeze this one in.
Hello, my name is Fijne. I have two questions. First is, what did you drink in the Vampire Diaries instead of whiskey and instead of vodka?
Well, up to season 5, it was tea. And then once we realized we had hit syndication and they were definitely not going to kill us, Paul and I switched to whiskey. We switched to bourbon.
There you go.
But that was like season 5.
And the second question?
And what did you do? What did you do in the hot skins to stop yourself?
What did I do in the what?
In the hot skins. In the hot scenes.
Hot scenes.
Hot
Oh,
scenes.
the hot scenes?
Hot scenes, yes.
To what?
To stop yourself.
To stop yourself.
Oh, you mean like the... Well, there's this thing that they call cut! And you have to reposition. That always helps.
True. Also, like a lot of...
Did you have
Next question. I don't want to end on a hot scenes question.
Good job.
That's a good one. And with this beautiful question, thank you so much.
That was a great one.
We're going to finish, unfortunately, this panel because we're over time. Guys, thank you so
sorry.
much.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for this. We freaking love you people. Thank you for we love you, we appreciate you. Rest of your weekend. Please be kind and thoughtful to everyone around you. Kat and I thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Stay where you are, guys. We're going to take a picture. Guys, if you can turn around, Jenna will take a picture, alright? So, Marty, Rodin, stay where you are, but I need your hands up, okay? Hands up. Everybody, woo! Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Guys, a round of applause.
There's pictures all over the internet, basically of Paul and I. Last time we did that, I had Paul's entire ass in my hand because his butt is so small. And you literally you don't actually see where my fingers are. It's all over the internet. It's pretty damn fun. We love you.